They went 3-1. And the reason why they didn't start Jameis Winston is because this is the first year that Jameis has been on this team. There's a lot of concepts in Sean Payton's playbook, and I don't believe that you can fully have a full grasp and do everything he wants, that first year. And keep in mind, there really wasn't a real training camp this year. We've had COVID-19, so it's been a weird year. So he wasn't able to get the reps and all that type of stuff. So you also have to keep that in mind. That's why they didn't start Jameis this year. People refer to what Teddy Bridgewater started last year. They went 5-0 with him. That was the second season Teddy Bridgewater was on the team. You see what I'm saying? They were 5-0. All right? Now, notice I'm giving these records that the Saints had without Drew Brees. And I mention this because this team it's been a championship caliber team since 2018. They've been winning kind of in spite of Drew Brees' lack of arm strength. The defense has been really good. They've got one of the best running backs in the league. They got one of the best receivers in the league. But again, like I said, moving forward, for them to have a chance to really compete for a championship, Jameis Winston is going to have to develop and be the quarterback that he was drafted to be in Tampa Bay. And the reason why it didn't work in Tampa Bay was because of coaching. That was one of the issues. The defense was trash. It was horrible. There was nowhere near to what it is now in Tampa Bay. He never really had a running game, and some of that's on him, the turnovers that he threw. He played YOLO ball, but there was also times that his receivers gave up on routes as well. And Tom Brady even dealt with that at times earlier in this season, where Mike Evans or some of them guys, sometimes they would give up on routes. So keep that in mind. His offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay was Dirk Cutter. Dirk Cutter is a real pass-heavy offensive coordinator. I've never seen his offenses have balance. Ask Atlanta Falcons fans. His first tenure with the Falcons as the OC, his running backs were Devontae Freeman and Steven Jackson. All right? Now, them guys couldn't even average 4 yards per carry. Why is it that when they fired that coaching staff and then they brought in Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator the next year, all of a sudden the Falcons had a really good running game. Devontae Freeman makes the Pro Bowl. You understand what I'm saying? Like, some of that is concept. Some of it is, when do you call the run? Are you calling them in advantageous situations? What does the box look like when you're calling the runs? Is the quarterback checking to runs in the right situation? All of those things are important. So Dirk Cutter didn't do well in Atlanta in the first stint. He goes to Tampa Bay. He gets the offensive coordinator job under Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith was the head coach at the time. Well, after, I think, one season, they fired Lovie Smith. They didn't want to lose Dirk Cutter to another team, because I think at the time he was a hot name for a potentially head coaching job. And so they promoted him to the head coach position. I believe that was an error. That's where they had an opportunity to position Jameis to develop properly moving forward. And when they promoted Cutter to the head coaching position, they did that with the intent of keeping the continuity, and they didn't want Jameis to have to learn a new system. All of this time, Cam Newton was still considered a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Over the course of Jameis' tenure in Tampa Bay, Cam Newton won MVP one of those years. The Carolina Panthers were a consistent playoff team. The Falcons went to the Super Bowl. They were a good team a few years. The Saints have been a good team for most of his tenure in Tampa Bay. So you also have to consider that as well. And so, like I said, in Tampa Bay, there was no balance to the offense. They passed most of the time. And it got even worse when Arians got there last year, because most of his offense is chucking it deep. But, with Jameis, the other point I want to make about Jameis and why he struggled in the NFL, I've noticed ever since he was in college at Florida State, Jameis has had a real issue with his vision. When he would get the calls from the sideline from Jimbo Fisher at Florida State, he would always squint. Now, for somebody to squint like that, he's probably nearsighted. I'm a nearsighted. I wear contacts and glasses. I've been wearing glasses since I was 9 years old. I didn't get contacts until my senior year in high school. Now, keep in mind, I've been playing sports since I was 7 years old, organized sports. I started playing football. My first year in football was 8th grade. I know firsthand how difficult it is to play football without, when you're nearsighted and it's blurred, without contacts or maybe a visor that has a prescription attached to it or whatever. I know how hard it is. When I got contacts my senior year and I was playing football, it was like night and day in terms of vision and my ability to see what was going on. So I can only imagine for a quarterback how difficult it would be if you have eyesight problems. And unfortunately for him, he didn't have LASIK surgery until after Tampa Bay moved on from him after last season. So now moving forward, however, hopefully it would make a difference for him. The other thing about this is a lot of people don't consider in sports and in football in particular. So when I was in college, they used to give us tape each week on the opponents and everything. We would watch tape with our position coaches. But there's certain nuances pre-snap that coaches don't typically give you. An example would be is an offensive lineman, let's say that when he pulls, when they're going to run power, the guard kind of tilts a little bit to the left or right. Maybe he's got more weight on his left foot or right foot to try to position himself to get out, to be able to get a jump start quicker so that he can pull and pick up the linebacker. All right. Maybe the wide receiver, every time he runs a 9 route or a go route, maybe he rubs his hip or something like that. There's little nuances that those things you learn from veterans. You learn from, and in the quarterback's case, a veteran quarterback. And this is the first time Jameis has had the benefit of learning from an elite quarterback, one that has done it at the highest level in the NFL. And I truly believe he's going to take those principles with him moving forward. Regardless of Drew Brees not having the arm strength and being able to throw it downfield like he used to, he still has it all up here. There's a lot of football knowledge up there that he has given to Jameis. And I'm pretty sure the type of person Drew Brees seems to be, I'm pretty sure he'll still be there for Jameis even after he retires. He'll probably be an ear for Jameis and help Jameis along the way. Patrick Mahomes had Alex Smith. Now, Alex Smith has never been an elite quarterback in the NFL, but he's won at a high level. He's consistently going to the playoffs with the Chiefs. Aaron Rodgers sat and watched Brett Favre. Now, I don't know how much Brett Favre mentored him or whatever, but I got to believe he learned something from Brett Favre for those, I think it's 3 or 4 years that he sat behind Brett Favre before he went in. And so I'm banking on that Jameis Winston will cut down on his turnovers from learning from Drew Brees, having arguably the top 3 play caller in the NFL, and then also from having his corrective eye surgery, LASIK surgery. So those are the things that I truly believe this. I think Jameis is going to finally reach the potential that everybody thought he had coming into the draft when he was drafted number 1 overall years ago. So I'm really looking forward to that as a Saints fan, man. And, I got some expectations for that. You know what I'm saying? So, I truly believe, it's going to work out. All right. So talking about losses, I mentioned reasons why the Saints lost, right? Well,